And in sports, we always put it at the end of the show. Sports always gets put down there. I'm sorry about that.
It's good.
Okay.
I like that one. I'm going to work that into sports talk this week.
Good. This week they're talking about putting nicknames on the backs of basketball jerseys. I think that could be dangerous. Some people's nicknames, I don't know if they're appropriate, but I don't know. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, no, I don't know. And it's a matter of some people's nicknames, like you said, won't really work, especially in this day of TV. But I think it's interesting, but then you have some players whose nicknames change all the time. So, I mean, a lot of
based on what, like their skill level?
Sometimes, or just sometimes they move to a different team and they get a different nickname from there. Dwight Howard, for one, a couple of his nicknames are escaping me. At one point, he was D12, then he was something else, and then he was something else. So, like, it just kind of.
Well, you can't have two chips on the same team.
Exactly. In this day and age, too.
Yeah.
Who? What? Oh.
Which chip?
That
nickname? No,
in this day and age,
it was in
too.
like the 40s, I think. Yeah, it was a good one though, for sure.
But now with like a lot of teams are being like accused of, you're making another jersey to sell more, and now so this will be just another way to do that, I think.
Course,
but I don't know. I don't think it really has too much for legs. I think I was actually in my head, I thought Twitter handles would get there before nicknames did. But
wow,
yeah.
I think you just created a movement.
Yeah, but
that's awesome.
Who knows? Like, that's just another thing.
Well, I don't. No, sorry.
Do the commentators have to say their real names or their nicknames?
They go back and forth. I'm
that's
pretty sure.
confusing.
I've seen a few times where doing hockey for sure. Some of the broadcasters say Sid the Kid for Sidney Crosby and all that kind of stuff. But they won't say something like King James for LeBron James or anything like that. They might on like an instant replay after a massive
like if he does
play or
something
something.
really cool,
but for the most part, it's just LeBron or James or something like that. But it's an interesting point because a lot of the times now, like, a broadcaster will get his roster sheet and he'll look at it and be like, okay, well, here's the names. And then they'll look up and see on the back of the sweaters, there's a different, I say sweaters, but on the back of jerseys, they'll have nicknames. And that's just like,
I'm picturing like a turtleneck with snowflakes.
Nice Christmas.
Yeah, and then you add in the hyphenated names on there too, and you've got the nickname, hyphenated name on the roster. Like, that's getting confusing. This day and age that we live in.
Yeah, well, people with hyphenated names are one day going to marry each other, and then what will they name their kids? They'll have like 4 or 5 names, and they'll just create a new name anyways.
I've always said hyphenating names is a non-sustainable practice because eventually you're going to, especially in sports, right, you're going to have this like name that starts here and goes all the way and then it ends here.
Leather jackets and your name used to go down your sleeve, so maybe they could do that.
Well, and that's why the turtlenecks will come in handy because you can actually wrap it around the neck.
Oh, to see the rest of my name, you got to unfold this. Yeah, for sure.
I'm mad at my mom right now, so I'm going to wear this down.
For some reason, curling is the only sport I can imagine someone wearing a turtleneck for, but it would work in that.
It
would.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm already regretting having given my kids a hyphenated name. It was really just for practicality's sake. The baby comes out and they go, "What's the name on the birth document?" And you're like, no, we're not married, so give him my last name and his last name, it'll be great. And now, like, my oldest daughter, she decided just to go with one name. The other daughter now is kind of going with the other one. Now I'm feeling guilty because I'm like, do they even understand that they're like kind of choosing between parents now? So
I hope they don't see this and realize,
So I was like, jeez, like, this is way too confusing.
Well, we wanted to all be Mukons in our family, so I changed my name from Ravy to Mukon, which was tricky because I was still reporting. So I had to go from the Ravy to the Mukon, which some people would say, no, keep your professional name, whatever. But we're all in this together. I want to be part of the Mukon clan, but I do understand why people keep their own names and hyphenate.
I'd love to see this go. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, if you have something to say, I was going to change the topic.
I would love to see this practice sort of move and mutate to the point where it
have no names.
we have names and we just get to pick them.
No.
Yeah, we just get to pick our own names, this is too confusing, there's too many hyphens, I'm Omega Boy, or something,
Or you could be a sign, like Prince,
Like
that
squiggly,
a symbol.
thing, yeah.
And how easy would that be? And you wouldn't have to address.
So easy,
my whole thing is, like, why do we have names?
That even evolves.
So you can say, hey you, across the room. And,
Hey you.
Yeah, exactly. See, that doesn't really.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, what I really want to talk about before we run out of time is clothing innovation because this is what I wanted to talk about. Right. We're talking about jerseys and different ways to get people to buy stuff, and I feel like I came out of an era where we had like hypercolor clothing.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had to have the iconic Club Monaco sweatshirt. I don't know. There was just always some kind of clothing, article of clothing that you had to have.
Hypercolor was so great on paper.
Hypercolor.
So great on paper.
Just
Well, exactly.
that's all it was.
Like, because I saw the commercial and they didn't have like the armpits. And it was just like this person puts their hand there. Oh my goodness! That,
Hey, but they made
whoa,
their
that's
money
awesome.
and
They sure did, and they got out.
So whatever.
They're like, okay, let's take this money, and now that everyone's realizing that this is just like an armpit highlighting shirt, let's go to Mexico.
So did we learn our lesson? Is that why there isn't any, or are there that I just don't know about?
Hypercolor? I don't think so. Maybe.
Clothing innovation has become very serious now. I think
Yeah.
it's you
there's
know,
like
dry
wearable technology, right?
There's like dry weave and
Yeah.
like technical gear where you know you can run for 8 miles and no your shirt will be dry. And clothing is very technical.
okay.
You know, Under Armour stuff, and on the other side of that, Spanx. I mean, you can like lose 10 pounds from wearing an
Oh, Spanx,
undergarment.
yeah.
You can get puff up your boobs or like reduce your bum. Like you could change your whole body based on clothing
So
innovation.
it's changed. I think it's more fashionable and there's more variety. So you don't have to. There's way too many things to be in now. So I don't think that there's just one type of thing that you need to have.
There are clothing staples though, and you mentioned a good one the other day.
Well, Rock and Rudy Gower mentioned yoga pants to me.
Yes.
I just stole it from him, but yeah, yoga pants is definitely one of those things that has come into our world that everyone has to have.
And it's
but-
way more fashionable than sweatpants.
Yes.
And that's
True.
what it's really replaced.
And it's innovative because
Yeah.
it has a lot for your bottom. It does
Yes.
There's
help
something
things out
happening
down there.
Okay, so we've just changed our ways then.
Yeah.
It's not as
Right.
light and fun.
No.
I'm sounding really old. Remember when people put phrases on T-shirts for the first time?
Like no fear.
Or just like
Oh, yeah.
words, you
Or like
know?
1 tequila, 2 tequila, and it got blurrier. So funny.
Yeah.
All the ones you can find on the
San
store.
Francisco had an entire
Yes.
wall
Yeah.
of T-shirts.
That was a big deal.
I think my dad owned every one of those shirts, by the way.
Well, let's make one.
Even the kitties in a basket T-shirts. That was a big deal to put pictures on.
We could do one with
Well,
bots.
you know, it does make sense with the innovation being more subtle and maybe perhaps more practical, because one of the topics that or examples that was brought up from our day is like the Mondetta T-shirts. Everybody had to have that iconic, you know, flag. T-shirt and then some. But I did a story there last week, and I was like, what happened to the shirts?
Yeah.
You know, like where are you guys?
They brought them,
put
they
those
brought
away,
them
though.
back
I know.
one year, those iconic sweatshirts with all the flags, and then it was sort of their anniversary year, and then gone.
Well, and they said they actually that sort of perceived as our heyday because because everyone did they could see us, like we were very visual. But now they're much more into the sport line of clothing, the kind of technologies that actually make them functional, and they're really big in the States. And actually, their sales are better than they were even in the 80s and 90s when
Chip
they
and
were
Pepper's
doing
made a
that.
resurgence too. right?
Yeah.
Which
So we're just not as flashy. Just not as
yeah.
flashy
Not
in the
doing
2000s.
We're polite. We're melding into the States.
There you
But
go.
Canadian, we still have Justin Trudeau and Mucklucks.
yeah.
There you go.
In the mudbox?
Ooh, yeah.
Sure.
The most Canadian sight ever.
Hi, everybody. Well, enjoy the rest of what's left of this week. We'll see you next.